Hello, this is the Greenbrier Valley Church of the Nazarene with your daily devotion for Wednesday, April the 27th. Today we continue to read from the book of Acts, chapter 18. We will read verses 18 through 28. Here's the word of the Lord. Paul stayed on in Corinth for some time. Then he left the brothers and sisters and sailed for Syria, accompanied by Priscilla and Aquila. Before he sailed, he had his hair cut off at Caesarea because of a vow he had taken. They arrived at Ephesus, where Paul left Priscilla and Aquila. He himself went into the synagogue and reasoned with the Jews. When they asked him to spend more time with them, he declined. But as he left, he promised, "I will come back if it is God's will." Then he set sail from Ephesus. When he landed at Caesarea, he went up to Jerusalem and greeted the church, and then went down to Antioch. After spending some time in Antioch, Paul set out from there and traveled from place to place throughout the region of Galatia and Perga, strengthening all the disciples. Meanwhile, a Jew named Apollos, a native at Alexandria, came to Ephesus. He was a learned man with a thorough knowledge of the Scriptures. He had been instructed in the way of the Lord, and he spoke with great fervor and taught about Jesus accurately, though he only knew the baptism of John. He began to speak boldly in the synagogue. When Priscilla and Aquila heard him, they invited him to their home and explained him the way of God more adequately. When Apollo wanted to go to Achaia, the brothers and sisters encouraged him and wrote to the disciples there to welcome him. When he arrived, he was a great help to those who by grace had believed, for he vigorously refuted his Jewish opponents in public debate, proving from the Scriptures that Jesus was the Messiah. And that is the word of the Lord. The article today is titled Community of Faith by Robbie Kanzler. Having a community of faith is important. We often overemphasize the personal component of a relationship with Christ. But this passage is a great example why being together is important. Apollo was a man who had learned about and chose to follow Jesus. Because of the community of faith, Apollo was able to learn more deeply about discipleship from Priscilla and Aquila. When Apollo felt led to share the gospel in Achaia, members of the faith community wrote to the disciples there, and he was welcomed by them when he arrived. The community of faith helps us to learn more fully. They support us, encourage us, send us, and welcome us. Following Jesus isn't meant to be done alone, but together. It's good for us to ask regularly, who am I learning from and whom am I teaching? Who is encouraging me? Whom am I encouraging? Who is surrounding me with welcome and support? Whom am I welcoming and supporting? Discipleship is meant to be done in community. Who is your community? John Oxenham wrote the hymn for today, "In Christ there is no east or west." Join hands then, brothers of the faith, whether your race may be. Who serves my Father as a son is surely kin to me. And from the book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 42. They devoted themselves to the apostles' teachings and to fellowship, to the breaking of the bread and prayer. And that is your daily devotion for Wednesday, April the 27th. Have a blessed day.